Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jay Bavolar, and I'm a Navy veteran who's 100% disabled. Looking to get into another great video for you today, but want to quickly remind you, you can get my book, Black Service and a Black Veteran. It's available right now on Amazon. Links in the description below. I discuss everything from my time in the military, in the Navy, to be specific, on how to navigate the one's respective military career and how to navigate as a veteran, plus VA disabilities and more. So you want to make sure you get it. Available on Amazon, link in the description below. Also, want to quickly remind you, you can book a one-on-one coaching session with me if you need help with your VA claims. You know, you feel stuck on how to put a claim in. Maybe you have a CMP exam coming up, or you're going through the appeals process. So if you need help with that, let's book a one-on-one coaching session so we can get you that rating that you deserve here. So today, I want to talk about the importance of having an effective strategy for a VA claim. Now, I touched on this in previous videos, and I touched on it briefly in a video when I was talking about the SEM method, strategy, education, and medical evidence, where I was talking about strategy and being educated on the VA claim. But I really want to get into strategy for today. That's what I really want to touch on. So, why is having an effective strategy important when putting in a VA claim and navigating through the VA systems here? It's important. Let's just say you want to put in a claim, and you need to know what you're claiming first, if it's even rateable, and you want to have an effect, as opposed to just banging your head against the wall, throwing stuff up against the wall, and trying to figure out what stakes. Because that's one of the biggest mistakes that I think a lot of veterans make when it comes to disability. Hell, I've done it before, right? So I list a few things of having a important strategy. Number one, before you even put in a claim, you need to have a medical diagnosis or a medical nexus. And a nexus just links your having a diagnosis linking your current disability to your time in service. That's what a medical nexus is. So, for the sake of this video and this conversation, let's just say, okay, you want to go for a mental health claim. You want to go for somatic symptoms. You're trying to get it secondary to, let's just say, tinnitus. Well, one of the first things you would need to do, okay, how do I go about it? Number one, you would need to see either a board-certified psychiatrist or board-certified psychologist, one or the other. Now, do you want to just go to anybody? Number one, you need to see if you have health insurance. Go through a list of psychologists and see, number one, if they're comfortable with even writing you a VA claim. I mean, a VA nexus letter. You want to put in the claim, but you want to see if they're even comfortable filling out a DBQ, because some are. Some will say, well, no, I don't want to touch that. So I think you need to do your due diligence there first. What I would do is probably try to look at their credentials, see, because let's just say they worked for the VA at one point, they have some familiarity with the system. So a lot of times they won't have a problem writing, filling out a DBQ, writing a nexus for you. Also, you can look into what's called pay for play, where you could pay for a medical nexus or medical evidence. You would need to do your due diligence on those doctors as well. I did a separate video where I covered whether it's worth paying for a medical nexus or not. So I have my opinion on that. You can watch that video. So you want to make sure you find that psychiatrist or psychologist board certified. And more, you can also look for outside ones. Maybe they don't take your insurance. For example, I'll give you an example. When I went for my somatic symptom disorder, now I was going through the appeals process. I was putting in a supplemental claim for it. So I found one that was a fit for me. She was actually an Air Force veteran, so she felt comfortable evaluating me and also writing that DBQ and writing a nexus for me, which she did, and I won my claim. Mind you, helped me get to 90, go from 60 to 90. So here's what your strategy. You got to go get that. So what do you do when you get that medical evidence? Next, once you have your medical evidence, you review it. You want to write a statement in support of. That's what I do when I put in my claims. I write one, and that's where you're explaining your symptomologies, various symptoms and everything. You're writing it all on there. it buffers your claim. So that's good way to strategize. You figure out what you want to write in there, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to write a book. Like, I think less is more. You're kind of just briefly explaining everything and putting everything all together. So maybe I would say 2 to no more than 3 paragraphs in that. Also, you can take the progression notes of it. So since we're talking about mental health, when I went to my mental health doctor, and she's amazing. She's very good at what she does. I would definitely recommend her. I'll actually, you know what? I'll link her. I will link her website in the description. This way, if you want to go for mental health, you can go to her. So even before we made an appointment to so she can evaluate me, right DBQ, you fill out a questionnaire, and it was pretty long, and I gotta say it was pretty thorough. So once she put everything together, she writes it out there, and it's long, it's lengthy. So I put that along with the medical evidence and my statement in support of this way, and that in my opinion, I feel like that really helped me get the rating I deserve for mental health. You know, I got 70% for somatic symptoms, so I feel like that helped me as well. So you can also that's also another thing you can do, but you got to make sure it pertains to your claim, it pertains to the disability you're going for. So once you put all that in, you send, whether you do it online on va.gov, you mail it out to the VA in Janesville, Wisconsin, whichever you decide to do. After that, you're waiting. Either they might just rate you as opposed to sending you an exam. If what the doctor wrote was actionable and sufficient for rating purposes, or they might send you to an exam. You know, the duty to assist. So 9 times out of 10 they send you an exam. What you want to do if they are, here's the next part of your strategy. You prepare yourself for that exam. This is where you know your symptomology and knowing the severity of symptoms. Also, I'll add, you got to know you want to know the rating criteria before you even go to that CMP exam, because that's where a lot of people trip themselves up, screw themselves up, and you end up with a lowball rating as opposed to the rating that you deserve. Especially with mental health, there's a couple of differences. There's a big difference in certain things you say between 30% and 70%. I'll give you an example for somatic symptom disorder. Here's the difference between 30 and 70. For example, a lot of folks will go into the CMP exam and they ask you, hey, are you having social and occupational impairment? How's your efficient work? And well, it happens sometimes. Because that's what it is. That's 30%. It's a decrease in your work efficiency in periods of inability to complete a task. So they'll ask you different questions, and if you go, well, sometimes it happens, sometimes sometimes, well, now you end up with 30%. Right? If you go now, in order to get that 70%, it's social impairment, but deficiency in most areas of your life, such as work, school, family relationships, impaired judgment and thinking, constant mood swings, obsessive rituals, illogical excuses. So now you got to go in there. If you don't malinger or anything, you don't want to be labeled as that. So you got to go in there and say, hey, listen, this somatic symptom disorder, it's really affecting me every single day. I got to take days off from work because some days I'm not motivated to do anything. It affects my family relationship. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered by I don't want to be bothered by friends. I don't have many friends. Sometimes, grossly inappropriate behavior. Sometimes I forget to take a shower sometimes because I'm so focused on this tonight, or on the pain that I'm having or on my symptoms. You got to go in there and you have to say these things, because that's the difference between, like I said, VA. What do I say all the time? VA's game is semantics. So that's the difference between 70 and 30. There's a big gap in pay. Go look at the pay scale between being rated at 30 and being rated at 70. Now, of course, if you have other disabilities, be the difference between you being rated at 90%, you getting rated at 100%, you be rated at 70%, you be rated at 100%. Even there's a big difference in pay. There's a huge gap in pay there. So that's part of having an effective strategy, is knowing the severity of symptoms, knowing the rating criteria and everything. And last but not least, the biggest thing for having an effective strategy is you want to get it right the first time around. And I'll tell you why. Getting it right the first time, it saves you a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of footwork when you put everything together and get it right the first time. From medical evidence, putting in that statement of support, and going to the CMP exam and articulating your symptoms, as opposed to, now you don't know what the CMP examiner is going to write. They might have conflicting evidence, you don't know. But you want to do things that you can control, and getting medical evidence, knowing symptomatic severity, symptoms, being able to articulate, those are things you can control. So getting it right the first time, as opposed to, okay, now you get denied. Now you have to decide whether you want to put in a supplemental plan or a high level review. And either or, it still takes time. So for example, you put in a high level review, you're waiting anywhere from 3 to 6 months before you get that informal conference to explain your side. Right? Now, I spoke about how to win a high level. I have a separate video on that, but that's still another 3 to 6 months you may possibly have to wait before you get home. Now, if you put in a supplemental claim, to me, that's the best. I feel like it's most likely the best way to do it. I feel like that's a little quicker, but even then, there's no guarantees it's going to be. Still, you might have to wait another month, 2 months, even before you even get ready. Now, you'll get the back pay and everything, but the reason you want to get it right the first time, you want to be able to put these claims in and get them done in an efficient manner. That's why I say it's very important that you have an effective strategy before you even put that claim in. You want to go down the line, every possible scenario, and just do the things that you can control. Now, before I get out of here, I want to remind you once again, you can get my book, it's Black Citizen, Black Veteran, available right now on Amazon. Also, if you need a one-on-one coaching session to help you navigate through the VA claims process, appeals process, or help prepping for a CMP exam, we can book that one-on-one coach session. Once again, we'll get you that rating that you deserve here. That's all I got for today. I'm out. Peace.